it's time to get started. So welcome to Rotolight's next installment of webinars. And today we have, now that we've asked about your name a few times, I'm going to totally butcher it. No, Jean Noir from Germany. He's a portrait photographer, well known for his color and his emotion. If you haven't seen his pictures, once you take a look of him, you're just drawn into him. So really excited to have him on today. We're going to talk about his technique, his journey, all that sort of thing. I'm Pamela with Rotolight. I've been a filmmaker and a photographer for about 20 years. And then my counterpart over there is going to take all the Q&A. Dirk, introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm just a guy who gets the coffee in the morning, you know, so I'm not that important.
So if you do have any questions, please use the Q&A lost in the chat. And Jean, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks for everyone being a part of a cool evening today, and I'm really glad to be here. And yeah, as you said, like, my name is Jean Noir. I'm 38 years old. So I'm just born in Germany, traveled a lot, and back to Germany since some years. And and I'm really looking forward for a cool evening. And as you said already, like, if we want to talk about Rotolight, we want to talk about the techniques, where I'm coming from, why I'm shooting that way, what kind of techniques I'm using to combine different light situations. Yeah, I'm really excited for all this, and the people, what kind of questions we have here and talking about.
So what inspired you to be a creative and to get into photography? What was that trigger that started your journey in this life?
That's to be honest, I this question was a lot of times in my mind, and a lot of people asked me that question, and till now I never had the right answer, because I started 2012, and it was coming out of a private situation, where I just, let's say, lost the ground under my feet, and I was looking for something. When I was a kid, I was painting a lot, so I was already into a kind of art. Everyone knows, like, you graduate, you go to school, high school and everything, and then you study, and you lose this way of thinking about art or handling something with art. And then there was a time it was coming back, and I was looking for something to put my emotions into, because I'm not a person who writes poem or is good in writing. Sport, yes, there was a lot of years I was doing sport really a lot of times, but this changed. So I was looking for something to put my emotions aside, and then there was a camera, and I started to work and trying. And to be honest, my first pictures, the first 1, 2, 3 years, I'm still proud on the pictures, but they have been really bad.
Well, you mentioned something, and a lot of photographers feel that way, even myself, is photography helps you with those emotions, and it saved my life personally, and I know a lot of other people. So yeah, it's definitely not a unique journey, and a lot of artists' way of expressing what they go through and how they, deal with life in general.
Yeah, and in my coachings, I'm always explaining to the people, everyone knows if your mind is not stopped talking to you, because there's something in your life happening, and your mind is working all the time and talking to you, and you try to stop it, but it doesn't work. Also, while you sleep, you dream about it, you wake up and you feel really bad. So it's in that second, while you're looking through the lens and just working with your camera, I think everyone can confirm that situation. Your mind stops talking to you. So you concentrate on something, what is in front of the lens or just in front of the camera, and you think about this one-on-one. You think about creating something, you think about emotions, you think about, it doesn't need to be always emotions, it just needs to be art, or you see colors, you see light, and it's just like, it really motivates you, it really pushes you, and it became a drug, not a bad drug, a really good drug, but it's a good thing. Like, if you can transfer your emotions into your pictures and freeze something into pixels. So this is what I really like with the photography. And I don't shoot that much, but I shoot really prestige for times. Sure, job is job. When I have jobs, I'm just doing the jobs with the same quality and the same emotions and motivation. But if I have my own projects, I have 1, 2, maybe 3 projects per year, not more. So yeah, and then I'd always try to transfer something, a message. How the people will interpret my message, it always depends on the own interpretation by the people. But for me, there's something into the pictures. I think people would be confused, or not confused, but if they see what kind of message really is inside the picture and what is the emotion behind it, what happened behind, yeah, this is something. If a book is coming, then I will write these messages or what's behind the picture.
Thank you. I think a lot of people, they feel that, but it's hard to express that, definitely.
Yeah, but it's good that it's hard to express. Yeah,
I agree. It's healthy. It's having this healthy outlet for just life in general is so important for everybody, whether it's photography, whether it's painting, yeah, it's healthy.
It's not only like shooting people. It's also I shoot also landscape, not that much, but I try to sometimes. It depends on my free time, but it's the same. It's not only always people to create emotions with people and to transfer
100%.
your emotions into the situation with people. It's also to put your emotion into a picture that could also happen with landscape.
Yeah, or in a very fortunate career. Speaking of, you mentioned light earlier. How has your journey of light evolved? Like, what did you start with, and then how did you find Rotolight?
Sure. It's in the beginning there was just natural light. All the years I was aware of flashlight and everything, but it was always from the beginning it was so complicated just to handle flashlight. And then there was a time here in the studio with my partner here, and like Rotolight was coming into our situations here, and so we started to work more and more. And using, especially with the Neo was the first one, not the Neo 2, but the Neo was the first one we started to work with. And from that point on, it was just trying, and to combining and first continuous light, natural light, and then to combining everything. And then for situations, especially on weddings, I had my situation. I was really happy because it's still the same. I don't shoot that much weddings, but I think every wedding photographer who joined the chat now knows, like, if you talk to the people and say, like, is there light at the party? Yeah, at 8 o'clock. They say, yeah, there's light. There will be light. No problem. There will be a lot of light. And you just arriving at the location, say, like, okay, I asked you if there's light. Maybe I should ask next time if there's pink light, green light, and everything, and LEDs. So it's like, so I'm sure you will get only black and white pictures, because having pictures with colors here is really tough. So, and from that point on, it was like I was using I have the one here. I was really like taking this off, and I was using, like, turning it on, and then I was running, not because I really hate flash on wedding. I had, that like if the ring is coming and everything, and you just flash everything. So I turn it on, having in my fingers like this, and turning on, turning off, turning on, turning off. It doesn't confuse people on a wedding a lot. So I started, and at the beginning I was doing some party photography as well. And just walk around with a flash. Everyone knows where the photographer is standing, and everyone is coming. So it's like, if you turn it on, turn it off. That was always really easy for me to work with. That's quite good. I just can. It's a really good thing for people on wedding photography. I was doing some days ago again, like walking through the church, not the church. I don't know the English word, Standesamt, the one where they start to marry. I don't know the English word, Standesamt, where they get the rings, not in the church.
Yeah. Well, there's not really a word for that in America.
Okay, yeah. So it's like.
Then again, they're American, so who can blame them?
Yeah. So it's quite good to have a soft light over there, because it doesn't disturb the people in a really emotional, private situation. But some kinds of rooms are really, really dark, and there's the only chance with flash or something like this, or an ISO of 8,000. But we know what will happen with an ISO of 8,000.
It's getting better, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's getting better, but still like, oh, the pictures are really grainy.
Yeah. I've got a question actually out of the audience for you, John, from Pink Ruby London, if I pronounced that correctly. Hello, John. In many of your shots, the model looks so dewy on the skin. What products do you or your makeup artist use to achieve that result? Looks stunning.
It's let's say I don't know what kind of makeup products are used for most of the shots, because this is the knowledge of the makeup artist. But what I always try to use is some really glossy effect. Not for the skin in the face or just for the face, having some baby oil or something like that, but for parts of the bodies, definitely, yeah. Because the more reflection or the more glossy skin you have, combining with a continuous light and natural light, or also the flash version, the more depth you will get into the picture. This is like I always try to create an out of cam picture like a dodge and burn in a perfect way. So the more light and the more depth it will be in the picture, and therefore I'm just building up different light setups. Like you see it in the background. I put AIOS together with ANOVA. I put ANOVA together with Neo and the illuminator and everything. Now the Titan is also coming, or just like more and more coming into the shooting, because it's not that long on the market yet. But yeah, this is, and for the makeup, there are some highlighter and everything. Light and makeup and everything, that's everything what belongs to a picture, sure.
Well, speaking of emotion in your pictures, I want to share this image right here, as you can see. Talk to us about this, the story behind this image and how you lit it.
This is one of my most important pictures for my I don't want to call it career, but since I started to be a photographer. Yeah. This is now around 3 years ago, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we have this old studio, this old warehouse I built up, and there was a time I had an intense coaching here. This old woman is a really she's kind of funny person, but a little bit strange, but still funny, strange. She's always walking around with her cigarettes and everything. And there was one time a coaching I was teaching to the people how to use the light, everything. And she was standing in front of the window and was just watching into the window. And she was looking. And after 5 minutes, because she was smiling all the time, taking a cigarette, smiling, taking a cigarette, smiling. And then I was talking to her and I was like walking to her and said like, hey, look, hey, just come inside. You can take a coffee. And she was explaining that she met her first love here in this warehouse around 70 years ago. So that was something for me, like a lot of people always try to create emotions because they ask people like, tell me a story about your life or something like this. But sometimes, and this is why I'm saying, there will be 1 or 2 times per year the situation, a really special emotion or a special situation is coming. So I invited her for a coffee, and I was talking to her, and I told her like, I would love to shoot with you. And she was explaining me like, I was a model 50 years ago also, and I was in Paris and everything. So always funny, and from time to time, I'm always inviting her. I have some pictures later on. I can share my screen. I think some days ago, I was inviting her again because for a second shooting. And there was a time I was inviting her, then 2 weeks later, after she was standing in front of the window, and I said like, look, I would love to shoot with you. And that was really a big change for me in my photography, because it was away from social media, just sexy girls. I never shot sexy girls, but like beauty is not depending on age, especially on photography. So and people. So this is something really. This is an own important message for me. And I love her smile. Whenever I look at the picture, it's something for me like, there's something in my mind, there's something wrong, there's something not that good. Looking at the picture, so like, everything is fine.
Not to take away the emotion out of that story, but she really looked like me in the morning. Same as me. Yeah. I've got another question for you, Jean. This one's from Mass. Sean, looking at your images, it seems you also shoot on film, question mark. If you do you have a favorite 35mm camera or 120 and favorite color or black and white film stock?
I would love to do, but I tried 1, 2, 3 times, and just for me, for private, I would love to do more. At the time, I wanted to do more. Corona was coming, and everyone, I think, every analog photographer knows if you didn't build up your market for 20, 25 years, that customers will pay for what you're doing with analog. It's quite tough, yeah, earning money or making a living out of photography with analog photography. So I want to do more and get used to and shoot more, and especially like creating that film style and look and everything. I try to do it digital. It's really tough, but if the time is there and Corona will be over and there will be a little bit more free time, yes, definitely. And then to see how to combine it also with Rotolight and like creating some different art, that's definitely something in my mind, how to combine that. But that just takes time. I think everyone knows who shoots analog.
Yes.
Developing and everything, and
Oh, yeah.
just try to talk to customers and saying like, you have to wait 1 week for seeing the first pictures. They will say like, no. Maybe it's different in different countries, but in Germany, most of the people, they expect some review in the evening when you shot the whole day. So like, send me some pictures, or let me take some mobile picture from the display. Doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of very beautiful women, this picture, it just stopped me in my tracks. I love the water, the effect, and just everything about it. Talk to us a bit about the setup of this image.
There's one important point. There's a makeup artist already also included. So if always people ask me for how to get a better picture or something like that, sure, if you have a team, if you shoot fashion and you have a fashion stylist, if you have a designer and they have the best clothes or whatever fitting perfect for the picture, what you want to achieve, sure, that's different than just go out and shoot a picture. In this case, there was a really, really good makeup artist already also included, and that was taken in Greece. So it was already kind of harsh light included, and I was using the ANOVA, and not the ANOVA, the AEOS with flash. So I was combining harsh light with flash, and she is sitting. I think you can see it on the left, on the top. She was sitting behind a glass. So this combination of glass, and I was shooting with a macro because this picture is really, really sharp. I don't care about sharpness, but in this case, sharpness was sure really important for that situation. So there was someone coming, the harsh light was coming from the left. You see it on the left eye, on the left, and from the front, a little bit from the right, there was the AEOS flash. Sure, you need to be all kind of close in this portrait because the flash is strong, but if you just stand 2-3 meters away, the flash is using a little bit the good lighting in this situation, we were standing in the pool. I think that the reflection from the water was also an element that is included in that picture. I don't have an evidence for that or something, but I think because of the little pool water, there's a reflection coming back into the picture as well.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah, the like people, photographers, I told you already, like underestimate LED flash. 90% of my pictures working with Rotolight, there's the flash included. I love the continuous light. It's perfect for every situation, but using continuous light and flash together, especially like with the small ones on top, where you just imagine like using a flash and you build it up and you need to hold it like, but here it's always a huge difference. Like if you flash from here or taking flash from here, you can always change with a millimeter or centimeter. It gives you a complete different picture. And to have this change or to have this chance, because it doesn't weigh a lot. If there's one limitation, you always need to have an assistant on the set. And alone, it's quite tough to have the Rotolight just on the camera, because if you want to flash from here and shoot from here, you need to hold it like this, and it's quite tough. But if you have an assistant and always teaching them or telling them like, use the flash here, use the flash here, just come with a flash here, then you have a softer flash, you have a stronger flash. Maybe you're coming with an IEOS or a Nova flash on top. It creates, you have millions of different situations creating the picture.
But isn't it not so much like the underestimating the lights, but is it more there where people are just, used to their, speed lights, where, I think every exhibition I go to, people like, oh, so what's the guide number? And I have to explain, well, you don't have to bounce it. So it doesn't really matter what the guide number is.
The most important point I'm telling to the people is like, if you have a BMX driver jumping and you want to freeze everything into the picture, the people should be sure that this is not working with the LED flash from a Neo. You definitely need a flash, but just try to use a big umbrella and you want to highlight with the flash a little kind of working with that kind of stuff here, where you have a harsh light falling inside and you just want to take a portrait like to the neck here, and you stop and you just want to have this little left eye, something with some light dots and everything. Just work with a big umbrella or something like a breeze or something. You will always flash everything till death.
Right.
So with that, you're really used to work in details.
Right. Well, talking about that details, I have a ton of questions on the Q&A. So let me go over a few of them.
Yeah.
Another one from Pink Ruby. Jean, do you have any Lightroom presets or Photoshop actions or something like that for sale anywhere?
It will come, but in a complete different way, because the market is completely overloaded with that kind of presets. What I want to do is especially explaining with a video how this picture was taken, because the details, how the light was working, the details on color, and I'm really used and really, let's say, I try to use the best ways of color and really intense colors. People need to understand that there needs to be the right basic of using that look. So for example, if you put someone in front of a red wall and the picture was taken in a forest, the look will never work, and most of the people never understand. And if you use a look on harsh light, but you were taking this picture with continuously soft light, the look will completely different. And therefore, I definitely want to work on a platform, and I'm working on a platform where the presets are coming, but I'm explaining the preset with a video and also with a podcast. So this is coming.
Right.
Because it's different, because people never use, because people just sell it.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Really, it's
Plus,
just,
it takes so much away from your own creativity as well.
I prefer having 10 people buying a preset and they are really happy than 1,000 paying a lot of money and they are frustrated.
Man, yeah, you probably don't notice, but I've studied photography for 5 years, and I went through the whole change from going from film to digital. And I remember my very first camera was a Mavica with like the 3.5 millimeter disc.
Yeah.
And then using Photoshop, and I think I made like 5 million mistakes before I ended up somewhere decent, but it's so much easier these days too, to give your own look to something, isn't it?
Absolutely. I also think more about, people can send me their raws. We talk about a budget and I will create the look for it, because every picture is taken different. For example, like different brands, if your body is a Sony, if your body is a Fuji, if your body is a Panasonic, if your body is a Canon or whatever, it always looks different. So therefore, I'm thinking about to offer something to the people like that. They can send me and I create the look, and then I will send a little preview. If you like the look, you can get the picture back and I will send it to you. It's more like a retouching or a retoucher, but more on a grading service.
Yeah. Welcome to the webinar with John, the colorist, everybody. Here we go.
It's instead of giving somebody fish, you're teaching them how to fish, so they're self-sufficient.
Yeah,
and
sure.
they understand. Really, at the end of the day, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah, but therefore the people also need to understand like that if 95% is taking with Rotolight and with that continuous light and flash, that my looks most of the time only work with that basic of creating the shot, especially like on the depth into the picture. If you see the old woman, there's, yeah, it's not, again, it's not about sharpness, but there's a lot of depth into the picture. Using channel mixer in red, green, and blue on my color grading, I need this basic.
All right. So I've got another question for you, Jean, from Philip Trent. I really hope I pronounced that correctly. If I don't, please forgive me, Philip. What's your strategy in working with models? Question mark. Do you set the mood for shooting? How do you connect with the talent?
Connecting on the shooting itself or just in front?
I'm assuming he's talking about connecting with the model and make sure he feels comfortable. And
yeah, I'm always really precise in creating my mood board. So I'm working a lot with Pinterest, and I'm always looking for a lot of different moods, a lot of different pictures, and yeah, taking elements out of this picture, out of this picture, out of this picture, out of this picture, and then put it into the mixer and just push the button and say like, and let's see what will happen after that if you put everything together. And while I'm shooting, yeah, I'm not a shy guy, but if I'm behind the camera and need to switch and to dominate in a positive way the person, to get some expression out of the person, I teach a lot. I talk a lot. I push a lot into the situation. It's like a curve of excitement. Like there is like the beginning, the pictures will happen, and then working with the team, working with the assistant, and then you feel it. There's something coming, and she's coming. The bones are like here, and just shoulder is going down, and you see now when the eyes are coming up, and she's looking into the camera or she's looking next to the camera. I push a lot. I talk. Sometimes people are scared, but if they see the picture, and yeah, they are always happy.
right.
But this is like I'm always saying, the way it's like you behind the camera are responsibility for taking the picture, and it's you and the person in front of the camera. So it's a game of domination, and like yeah, this, now you give something, I give something to you, now you give something back to me. And if people don't talk behind the camera, it's quite tough to take a expressive picture.
Right.
Absolutely.
I've got another one here from you. I'm so sorry, Pam, but it's getting a lot.
I like this. We're here for the viewers.
Yeah. Did we talk about the fact that this one's going to be longer than an hour?
Yeah, I don't. We can talk as long as we should. It depends on you. Like, yeah. I'm fine to talk the whole evening.
Right.
Yeah. No, we're here for the viewers. We're here to answer questions. We're here to inspire and educate. Yeah. So yeah.
This one's from Ian, actually, and Ian, I think, was with pretty much every webinar we've ever done so far.
Good to know.
I'll forgive you on the caps lock, Ian. I won't shout, I'll promise. But Ian says, one issue I'm having with Adobe at the moment is this: I'm autistic, a higher functioning, but have always suffered with comprehension. When issuing instructions, do you take into consideration what not at all will understand your instructions unless you strip your written and verbal instructions back so as someone who is told, for example, open two images on a screen understands how to open two images on the same screen?
I think there will be questions. I'm always open to if that people can send it to me via email, because that's quite intense.
It's a comprehensive one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's quite. I'm always willing to help and to support everyone with every question. And if we don't have the time for Q&A and people, the questions are not answered here today on the webinar, they can always drop me a WhatsApp message or just an email. I'm always willing to help. Sure, sometimes it takes some more, maybe 1 or 2 more days, but I think this question is quite tough to answer now.
Yeah. Ian, just for you, Jean is also on our Rotolight user group. Sorry. So perhaps you can just shoot him a message, because I think this one's too comprehensive to talk about in like half an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So we apologize, Ian. We apologize.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're not on the Rotolight user group, just go to Facebook and search Rotolight user group and you'll find us. We just started, we're growing, and it's a lot of fun.
It's good. Just put it into the group. Just link me, because everyone knows if the algorithm is not showing everything, and I always try to check 1 or 2 times per day into the Rotolight user group. But if there's a link for me and if there's a question, it's easier for me to find. Yeah.
Right.
But that's a good thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of pretty models again, and you didn't use color on this one, but there is water. Talk about the setup on this one.
That was in Cape Town. It was, and the light in Cape Town, especially on the ocean, is really, really special. I think everyone who shot in Cape Town or South Africa knows what I'm talking about. And this is a good friend of mine, a really, really good male model. And I think it was 6 o'clock in the morning. So I really wanted to take exactly that shot. Like the guy is running through the waves, and not like just a little bit running. I was pushing him again, because he was first running through. I don't know if the people see me like walking, like he was more walking through the waves, and said like, look, this is not running. You have muscles. You have muscles everywhere. You just run through the waves. And then he was running a little bit more. I think I told him like, that's not running. I said like, and then he was pushing, and then he was running, and breathing. And my close friend Christopher was like with me, and he was just holding 2 Neo 2s with flash, and he was running next to him all the time. So after the shot, both of them have been completely wet. Yeah, but there have been, to be honest, enough shots I was taking out because they were unsharp. But I really wanted to have that shot, like the water is just coming up and everything, and this in front, that's everything water. And this shot is raw, so there's nothing. Raw, it means I think I was increasing a little bit contrast. But nothing more. So I really love to take the shots like this, especially on black and white.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's a really strong picture.
Yeah, it's strong.
And it was again like coming back to the question, like how to handle models. That one was really to push him into that situation. Otherwise, the picture would not happen like this.
I would love to see the BTS of the assistants.
Yeah,
running.
I think I have them. I need
Oh,
to.
really?
I need to. Sorry, but it's what like laying on the waves in the water and everything, and just holding. Yeah, it was again the huge advantage. The huge advantage was again because running with Neo next to the model. Just try to do it with some different big flash or something. It's quite tough. That doesn't
So
work.
not only are you pushing your models, but you're pushing your assistants to help you get that shot.
They push me, I push them. It's like, and after a shooting, everyone is sitting like this. Finished? No, maybe. Another shot? No, maybe tomorrow.
Let's see here.
I've got another couple of questions for you, Jean. This one actually relates back to the first picture that we saw. This one's from Jan Bureau. Did you use kind of grid? Is there one available on the EOS for harsh light or almost direct? Yes, there is, Jan. There is one available for the EOS. But John, did you use one on that shot?
There is. You mean on which one? On the first picture from the old woman? On the,
yeah.
No. I most of the time I use direct. If it's too harsh for the moment, I just reduce it a little bit or put it 20 centimeters away. Sometimes I'm just flashing into an umbrella. Yeah, that is what I'm doing. Or just flashing. What I do is flashing through something like this. You see it when I'm just holding? Is the
yeah.
on still?
Yeah, we
so
can
I'm
see
just using different foils like this, or sometimes this is like being creative and shooting like this. I have a lot of mirrors here, like broken mirrors and everything, and I flash into the mirror, and depending on like how the light is falling back on the face, I'm just adapting the distance between the face or something like this. So that's why I'm saying I always try to be creative as much as I can to form light in different ways. That motivates me a lot. Finding new ways all the time, that's really cool. So it's not like it's like direct, it's like using edges, using into a mirror, using, yeah. And this one was direct on that picture.
Oh, it's beautiful. See.
I have a couple more, if you don't mind, John.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, please,
one
please,
from
please.
Greg Anderson. John, are you experimenting with video at all?
I had this question 2 days ago also. I would love to also, but it's quite complicated again, because you need to get used into new software and everything. So if the market, especially in Germany, is a little bit more stable for a continuously more easy earning money, because the market, especially in the Corona situation, became quite tough. Sure, and it was already quite tough. I would love to take care more about different things like video and everything, but it's a complete new topic for me. So it's from 0% starting videography. I think what could be cool is how to create my looks on this, how to create different light situations on video, but I'm completely unexperienced in that.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
But
well,
it could be really nice. There are a lot of really nice, cool trailers outside.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, they can make me look good on video. I'm amazed about that sometimes. You know, so
in the morning,
make me look good on video. I mean, come on, everybody's possible.
in the morning as well. If you look like the old woman.
No, not in the morning. No, not in the morning.
No, I really like it's a kind of art as well, and I would love to take some model or personality trailers about something. I'm thinking a lot about this, but I'm a little bit, I have a little bit fear of using something completely different, new, and losing maybe the focus on photography.
Ooh, we should talk afterwards. I would love to put your looks into some LUTs. It'd be a lot of fun.
No, Pamela, no giveaway about
no.
activity. We just talked about that.
I tried that. I tried to transfer it into LUTs, but it's quite tough. It's really tough. I'm working with LUTs a lot of times, not only presets, but to transfer that, it's nearly impossible yet, I think. Maybe there's a freak or a nerd outside who knows how. Yeah, but I talked to a lot of people how to use and how to do, but there was never an answer on that.
Right. All right. Well, the next one I've got for you, Jean, is from Mass, because we talked a little bit about your podcast earlier, and he's asking, where can we keep up to date about Jean podcast? That's actually quite funny. Where can we find more information about training courses?
I was trying to use to put the focus on my homepage. I finished my new homepage 2 weeks ago with email newsletter and everything. There will be also the translation into English. There will be also more and more tutorials, but yeah, I'm really concentrating on taking time on that. Because the market, again, it's like the presets is completely overloaded with tutorials and everything. I have a German podcast, not in English yet. Maybe we can do it with Rotolight. Could be cool to talk about different topics. I would love to do that. Because there are a lot of people speaking English and they don't speak German. And yeah, keeping up to date is I use WhatsApp in an RSS feed to keep the people updated, and the newsletter is coming as well. It's old school, but it's the best way, because I don't want to use social media like Instagram and Facebook. I'm a little bit not bored. I'm tired of using these channels. So I like to have smaller groups, but direct contact and really a close contact to the people, instead of mass. So people should use the newsletter or dropping me a message on WhatsApp.
Yeah, you're gonna regret that in the morning, and you see like 1,000 messages in here. You know,
I can use for updates also. Sure, it always should belong to Rotolight, but I have a Facebook group as well. But any update for Rotolight and working with Rotolight topics and everything will be in the Rotolight user group, and on my group as well. And yeah, and then it's WhatsApp and newsletter.
Right. Cool. I've got another one from you from Andreas Wollers. Again, Andreas, I do apologize. Mein Deutsch ist nicht mehr, was es gewesen war.
Oh.
Ja, ich spreche sehr gut Deutsch.
Oh, sehr gut. Dann können wir jetzt
John.
Deutsch sprechen.
Ja, wir können mal Deutsch reden, ja. Sorry, Pam, sorry.
Welcome to my life.
I know, right? Hi, John. What's your favorite Rotolight and why?
Ooh, good one.
No, I can't take a decision on that because I love ANOVA in the studio. I love Neo for traveling with 2 Neos because they are really, the weight is really low. And everyone knows if you have your camera baggage with you, it's most of the time, if you're just going to the airplane, it's 6 kilos, 8 kilos. I'm always like I'm always on the airport like this. I take my big winter jacket flying to South Africa because I have all the batteries and everything in my winter jacket because my baggage, my photography baggage is already around 12 kilos because of lenses and everything. So I'm really happy that Neo is what is the weight of the Neo if the batteries are not inside?
That's a good question.
400 grams, 450?
Something like that, yeah.
450 grams. So that's nothing to have a light with you. Just imagine if you have big flash boxes and everything. So it's quite heavy. So yeah, therefore the Neos are perfect for me. Whenever I have a little bit more space or something like that, like using the AEOS, it's also not that it's 800 grams without battery. So I don't have a perfect favorite. Now in the studio, the Titan is really, really good because of the colors and everything. Sure, that is not, yeah, it's great, but it's not typical a Rotolight for traveling or just saying like, going outside and having the Rotolight over here. You definitely use it more in the studio. I'm thinking about to take it for a setup outside, but it's more and more prepared, or it's just a big preparation for that. Yeah, so every Rotolight for its own, it's good for different situations. So I can't take a decision which is my absolutely favorite one. It's I'm always saying this is the mix of price and how you can use it, where you can use it in travel. It's really good. So yeah.
Yeah, I believe that should be in every creative's toolbox. Absolutely.
Yeah. It saves my life on so many shots, on so many situations. Since how long is the Neo 2 on the market? 3 years, 4?
Like that, yeah, 3 years.
Like since that, I'm always have it with me. Harsh light situation, like in Cape Town or Brazil, like working, like using my camera in an underexposed situation and just coming back with a continuous light from the Neo, assistant holding, harsh light, no problem anymore. Before, I was always struggling in Cape Town a lot with harsh light at 12 o'clock. You can't take a shot. There's no depth. There's no chance for taking a depth into the picture. Now, working with that 2 or 3, maybe Neos or an AEOS on top, yes.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you because I work. That would be a little bit weird.
No,
like, you should buy Pro Photo.
It's like it's like the market is full of sorry for the word, influencer shit. I know you record it, but it's true. People present this. Next time they present this product, they present this product. This is shit most of the time, but I work with these products. I work in 90% of my shots. I love these products. I'm standing behind Rotolight. I'm just using it everywhere, and people know it because I can show it. I can present everything. I can explain in the pictures. I can show how I was taking the picture with that. Yeah, and I have tons of, later on, I have also making of, yeah.
Pull up some BTS of you using it. You have some available. I want to see it.
You see it? Is everyone? Is it possible that people see it? No.
Yeah.
Here are tons. People need also to understand that creating colors is a really important thing. Like this is a BT off. This is a raw shot. Yeah. Like is everyone? You see it? The Rotolight is here. Huh?
Yeah. Yes.
So I can make it bigger. So it's perfect for me. I can't create my typical colors. And to be honest, my typical color looks and the more intense color looks are coming out of the Rotolights. without the Rotolights and especially with the flash. I'm really excited with the flash with the Titan, how it works. I need to get, yeah, I need to try to get a project how to work with that. Yeah, and I can
It's
show
still a black screen right now on your,
Yeah,
is
it's
it
completely
loading?
gray. Yeah,
it's a black screen.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, just give me a second. Now?
We see your, we see all the photos in your folder right now, and then it's.
Oh, there we
pulling up.
go. There
Is
we
it
go.
is it big now?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay, so yeah, that was the one I was talking about. You see it now?
Yep. Yeah. we
Okay,
can.
perfect. So you see the
There,
Rotolight,
yeah.
which is here. I have one BTS, which is really nice. You see, I have, if people, I will put more of all these content I have into the Rotolight user group in the mix of finished picture and also how the picture was taken. I think that's really interesting for the people, but I have some nice, let me check, especially, yeah, this was, for example, you see it that this is just the JPEG. This was taken with the illuminator. So the light is really, really soft on just black and white. With
wow.
all these direct or just illuminator, you can use the pictures out of cam directly into your Instagram or homepage or something like this. Sure, kids is a little bit more easy because they have a perfect skin, but yeah. Here's another one. I was doing, don't worry about I was doing some, this is out of cam with Rotolight. There's nothing, you see it still, that there is still, it's the same, that there are still the shades under the eye. I was doing it on a coaching, and I was, yeah, this was taken from Pinterest just to show people how it would look like if you create a magazine. But do I have this picture? Let me check in big. Here. This is my old woman again. Do you see it? That was also
yes.
taken, that was also just taken with a soft flash and with continuous light to put together. So yeah, sure, she's old, but you have everything into the picture, and you can use it like this. I love that style. And let me check, I wanted to show a picture. Where is it? Here. This is one of my well-known pictures. I have it on my homepage as well. So in this picture, if people still see me, I love to work with prism. I love to work with 2 prism. I love to work with 3 prism, putting everything in front of the camera. I love to work with different situations like this and just flashing on this light situation in here. And in this situation on the left, on the top, you see that this was the reflection from the prism. In front, it was just a little glass, putting some honey inside that the water was not dropping down. And you see the setup here. From the left, there was coming some natural light, and the assistant was coming from the right with the Neo 2 and with the EOS. So, and you can see the setup here. You see it here, the Neo is lying here, but the EOS was coming from top with the flash. You see here, this is this small glass with honey and everything inside. And then the light was coming from this direction, from the door. The flash was coming from front, or just from a little bit from above down to the face. And the assistant was holding the Neo also with a continuous light from the front. So there was a lot of light situations putting again together to use. I think I can't open 2 pictures, right? No, huh? No.
Just one picture.
You see it. I will put that in the Rotolight user group as well, so people can ask about the situation. But this is the picture what was taken about. Sure, there's some retouching also, and this was the setup.
Wow. Love
No one
it.
wants to talk anymore.
Marvel,
Oh, we have a bunch of questions that came through.
just
Yeah.
a few. Just a few.
Yeah.
This one is from Mark Fowler. Do you use Unova as a flash system at any time?
Mm, it depends on the situation of the shot. Yes. Yes, I do. Yes. Yeah. I continuous light and flash. It really depends on the situation. But to be honest, most of the time I start to have natural light. I start to have natural light and continuous light. I start to have only continuous light, and then putting the flash on and saying like, okay, that's the picture. So yeah, it's most of the time. In the end, I use the flash.
Right. Awesome. Next one's from Nigel Atkinson. Your studio looks amazingly cool. Does shooting there feel different from other locations? Question mark. How much of your work is in your own studio?
I love it to be here. I'm just living in the studio, so my apartment is over there. Sometimes it's quite tough because losing privacy, and I had some problems the last year to find the right mix between how to find a split between I love photography, I really love photography, it's my life, but there also needs to be a point to say like this is now private life, and that was quite tough to find the right mix. I love also to shoot outside because I think everyone who owns a studio, after 4 or 5 years, you know each of the corners. I'm really surprised that it's possible for me still to find corners and situations of light to say like, look, I never had that before. Because like adapting the light gives you a different light situation again. And I think, yeah, it depends because if I have a project, I try to look for different other special locations because I have three to four intense coaching per month in this studio. So you are used to take a lot of pictures here inside. My own projects, it's more in a different location. I really love that studio, sure, but different light situations again, and I want to come into a situation that, how to say it in English, it forces me to become more creative and more to think about light situations again. Because if I put the light over here, it works for me. If I put the light here, it works for me. If I try this, so I want to bring myself into a critical situation where I say like, I need to find the right solution of the light now. I think everyone knows what I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. The next one I have for you is from Pete Sommer. I had 2 times the chance to work with a Rotolight. I liked it, but what do you think is the key feature of this light, Sean?
The key feature, again, it's the flash. Right. For me, it's definitely the flash. So there is no other product like this, and all the arguments I had before, like traveling because of the weight, and here, especially on AEOS, what I like the most is with one battery. I think it's around 85,000 flash per battery charge. No one will ever be able to flash like 85,000 times. But like, wait, I will give you a small demonstration. Like, there's also on most of the flashes you need a hypersync. If you just have if you want to be really quick, and like if you shoot, like, I don't know if it's possible to see it in the video, but there's a little light show like this, and the flash is not stopping. Like a normal flash stops now, because it's like loading again. You can shoot like this. Dancing on Ice, I think Dancing on Ice was in the UK.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was like flashing all the time. So it gives you a lot of chances to mix everything together. So yeah, that's definitely the key feature is not only one key feature, it's the whole complete system and the whole complete light situation, putting everything together.
Right.
You can adapt for every situation. So yeah. That's why I'm saying there is not one favorite, like, is it AEOS, is it ANOVA, is it Titan, or is it Neo? It's everything.
Right. All together.
All together.
Right. The next one I've got is from Roger Whiteman. When using the Neo 2, do you find you have to be close to your subject?
Yeah, you need to be. It's more like in the distance. It's like 1 meter is okay. The more close you come, the better it will be. 2 meter, it's okay. But if you stand away, like with a flash, I need to tell, like with a flash, with a continuous light. When I shoot weddings, I like to have 2 or 3 Neos with me, because if you have a bigger group of, it works for me with 2 persons on a portrait, like 2 persons, maybe 3. It depends. If it's 10 o'clock in the evening, then 1 is still not enough. If you have at 4 o'clock and it's a little bit cloudy outside, 1 is enough for 2 persons, 3 persons, but I'm always having 2 or 3 with me to build up something like a light situation. If this is a group of, yeah, you know it, like, they will be, the grandpa is over there. And sometimes we have the people like saying, we didn't take pictures with the grandpa at 8 o'clock. And then it's dark or nearly dark already. And then building up the near set and saying like, look, no problem. And I had it 2 days ago. It's this wonderful noir film look. If you take your pictures in black and white on your camera and you're using a Neo and just putting the light on the people in the location, it looks like film noir.
Well, it's actually funny you started
True.
that, because that's one of the questions we had actually from.
I don't see it, but yeah, but it definitely looks like film noir. It looks like film noir.
Right. Yeah. He was actually asking, do you still shoot with just a black and white display on your camera? I remember you got us to set our cameras up like that during the workshop.
I just shoot the RAW. I don't like the discussion from the market, like what is better, RAW or JPEG, or should we not shoot JPEG? I shoot the JPEG in black and white because, especially on the mirrorless cameras, I love it to see it in black and white, because from the biology, we only see, our eyes see only black and white, and the color happens in our brain. So there are a lot of people who like green. I don't like green. And if I see green on my screen, oh, that's a rhyme. I'm a rapper. If I see, but it's true. If I see green on my screen, I think like, oh, that's a shit shot.
Right.
If I see the same picture in black and white on my screen, it's like, oh, on my display, yeah, that's really cool. I really like it because contrast, light, and on top, I can see, if I handle with Rotolight, I can see where the light is happening or where the light is coming in black and white. In color, it's quite tough for me, especially if you're in a hectic situation.
Right. Oh, true. You're right.
And then I'm just using most of the time on my second account on Instagram. I think most of the pictures are out of cam raw. I just added on the raw converter, just some contrast, some light, some dehaze, done 2 minutes. So people are always surprised when I have the intense coaching and say like, now we're going to finish the black and white. And they say like, okay, I'm going to sit down, finished. And they say like, okay, cool. So it's good because like with the right situations of light, you can create the out of cam picture in a way which you say like, that's perfect. Why to change something, or why to change a lot, and why to use Photoshop for 4 hours on a picture which is nearly done? Sure, you need to shoot it in a good way out of cam, and this is what I love to do. That's my own competition always, to take the pictures in a way to say like, I can finish in a different way. On my art pictures with the colors, it's a little bit different. It takes me more time to finish because there's a beauty retouch sometimes, and creating the colors in the most intense way, it takes me 1 to 2 hours. Yes, sometimes 3. But for black and white, easy, done.
Yeah.
You have so many questions. This is awesome.
I know, right? Yeah. So this one's from Marco Pilz. Do you also give workshops in German and also one-on-one?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do.
Yeah,
I have one-on-ones. I have the. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I have the one-on-ones and my intense coaching where I teach everything about the Rotolights and how to combine and everything with different lights. I decided to go into niche 2 years ago with 3 people, because it was coming out of the point because of the higher rate. There have been students to say, like, I would love to see how you work with the lights, but it's quite expensive for me. I can't afford. So I said, like, look, what we do is we share it for 3 people. And there it was the starting of my intense coachings. And now, yesterday, I had my, I think, 112 intense coaching in the last 2 years. So there are a lot of people who are interested to how to understand, to use these lights. And if they get connected to the situation, they always want to buy. They say, like, I would love to buy a Neo or something. This should be not a promotion webinar or something like this, but the people really, yeah, they like to see it and to understand how to use it. Yeah, sure, it's not only about the lights, but it's more. Yeah.
Over in the chat, Andrew was asking, you know, creatively, how do you deal with controlling the spread and spill of Rotolights?
Again, with the question, I didn't get that.
Oh, so he goes, one of his challenge creatively is always controlling the spread and spill. How do you control the spread and spill of the Rotolights light?
To be honest, I don't care a lot about that. So it's more, if I want to have a wider situation, I decide to take the shot with the IEOS. If I want to have a really close situation or just highlighting just a part of the left eye or whatever, it's more that I'm just, I don't put papers. Sometimes I put a paper on it to say, like, I just want to have this side of the flash. I use it, but it's more like then changing the direction of the Rotolight and trying to get a shade over this situation. I like it that way because that's the situation again, that it's giving me a complete new shade. I'm really experienced in light and I love that situation, but the more I always try to do it like changing it in that way or changing it in that way, as I said it in the beginning, it gives a complete new shade and I say, like, fuck, now it looks good. Sometimes it looks shit, and I'm like deleting the picture, then trying in a different way, then putting some paper on it, or putting the mirror here, flashing into the mirror, using the corner, the cut of the mirror and everything. Yeah, that's how I form the light. Yes.
Perfect. Makes sense. Let's get back to some of the questions, Dirk.
Yeah, I know, right? It's so amazing. I'm important this time. It's funny, actually. This one's from Florian Rumor, Jean. Hi, Jean. Thanks for the explanations. My question is Rotolight strong enough to shoot at ISO 100 with f5.6 or 125th of a second as normal in the studio, or does ISO needs to be increased? No.
Whenever I use Rotolight, my ISO is always at 100. I never use it higher. Especially there is also on continuous light, I never use ISO, and there is never on the flash. There's one little situation when I go up with my ISO, because I want to have the natural grain in the picture. But then I'm using an ISO of 1200 because I want to have this grain. But this is on purpose. But never for the other situations, especially in my art series and everything, I don't want to have any grain in the picture. That would not work with the flash. Otherwise, I don't need to use the flash. So the ISO, sure, you can use in the situations like this. Everyone is asking like this. I think it's for like taking care and heating vegetables.
I have that exact same thing.
Like I had it. This one was stolen, I think, half a year ago. So yesterday I bought it new, especially for the webinar. And the first time I bought this, I always thought it's for taking care of noodles.
I used it to steam my vegetables.
It was like for this, like, say, okay, it's a little portion of noodles. So it's like, and then once some person was telling me, no, it's for vegetables. It's like, cool, it's good to know. But I shoot harsh light, just creating some kind of closing the door, harsh light coming inside, creating some kind of laser coming through this, getting some little dots of the light. And you know, I shoot the harsh light with an aperture of 16 and then coming back with a flash into the picture. So in this situation, it's, yeah, I use a higher aperture than just 5.6. But again, that depends on the light situation, what is yeah around you or given. Like brighten sunlight in Cape Town at 12 o'clock, I already need to shoot with an aperture of 20, 22, depending on the lens. And then again, coming back with a flash or continuously light, yes, it still works. It depends on just the light situation.
All right.
Awesome.
So next one for you, Jean. If you get tired of this, just let me know.
No, I really like to be here.
This one's from Alec Davies, sorry. I only have one Rotolight and a beginner. Can you suggest any go-to positions of the Rotolight for portraits? Thanks, Alec.
Go-to, what was it?
Go-to positions. So do you have like any suggestions on where to hold the Rotolight for portrait?
To be honest, try. Use all positions and find the best. Yeah, this was the situation my art pictures were able to create because I tried. I left my comfort zone, and 10 times I created 8 times shit, and 2 times or 1 time that was the awesome shot for me. I really like the shot. Next time I tried 10 times, 8 times bad shots, 2 times good shots. Next time 10 shots, 6 times bad shots, 4 times good shots. So it's, you get used to, and this is why the full market, especially here in Germany, a lot of people, they don't try. They don't want, they're too shy to try. We're in a digital world. We can delete pictures. It doesn't cost any money, like on analog photography. Just try it. It's again like using the light from this side, using the light from this side. Yeah, using the light from here gives you some really scary light. Yeah, like Scream or something like this. Yeah, if you use the light from here, if you use the combination, just try. The more you try, the more you get used to it, and the more you feel safe in to use and to combine the light situations. This is what I'm doing since 3 or 4 years. I have some puppets in the background. People are always scared when they're coming into the studio because there are puppets standing. I try in my free time light situations. A lot. Shades and everything. People should do. Not only taking TFP shootings all the time and shoot. I have puppets over there using the light situation here, using this. I'm now using on product photography Rotolight. And I tried. And it was working.
I use my kids' stuffed animals to practice.
Yeah, but it's like photography is art. So and sure, there's some guidelines. People, there have been people telling like the golden middle and this and here and everything, and this is the right way to take pictures. I know all these rules, but I like to break them. And the more you try to break them in a creative way, sure, you should not create shit and then sell something bad or convince people like this is still good. It should be quality, but trying is everything.
Oh, in that perspective, we have a couple more questions actually on that subject. So the first one's from Tom Chambers. He's asking, what color temperature do you find the best for capturing good skin tones?
It's 5,300.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, I always shoot
writing that down.
I never change it. Like, because I keep it in my camera, I keep it on every Rotolight because I want to have a continuously same color temperature. Because if I want to change it more warm, I take the pictures on my camera raw, more warm. It takes me 5 seconds. If I want to have more cool, I take them, create it more cool. But 5.3 is the best for me, especially for the red tones. Yeah, and I shoot, maybe I should tell also, I shoot sRGB on my camera.
Yeah, that's important.
Always. Because I shot a lot of freckled girls and it drove me nuts. Like uploading the pictures on the internet and say like, what happened to the red tones? What happened to the orange tones? And it's like, yeah, a lot of people think like, what happens to my picture if I upload a picture using lights and everything, and then it looks totally different on the internet? The internet is only possible for sRGB. If you don't know how to handle RGB in the right way, it kills your red tones. So in this combination, sRGB 5300 with the color temperature, that's my way of working. I don't change it. And I'm not a technician. I'm not really, I don't know how to handle technique in a lot of ways, like histogram and everything. Yeah, I'm more an artist.
The next one in that subject is from Will Wong. Do you ever use a reflector with the Neo 2 or a EOS flash turned backwards? Question mark.
Yeah, I do. I do. It's a way of soften the light. So flashing into, again, I said like flashing into a mirror or flashing into a sun bouncer. Yes. It needs to be really harsh light. I never use it in a really soft light situation in the studio, but really hard light situations, again, yeah, it depends a little bit on creating edges again or creating shades and then flashing to a different sun bouncer again into and creating maybe some kick into the eye. Yes, I do. Or for example, sun bouncer is here and just coming with a Rotolight flash from here, just giving it back like the flashback. Yes. And also a situation for me, creativity, pure creativity.
Right.
Complete, totally different light situation. If you have a sun bouncer here flashing into the situation, the light is coming here. Yes, mega.
Right. Then the next one's from Andreas Wollers. Sean, when the flash is the key of Rotolight, why Roto and not a normal flash, which you can use in Felt?
Because you have natural light, you have continuous light, you have LED flash, and you have flash. That's the answer.
Right.
LED flash is not a flash. I would not be able to take my art pictures with a normal flash. Maybe, but it would be, I need to form the light absolutely in a more complicated way than I can do with Rotolight flash.
Right.
And the combination of continuous light and flash, because you can turn it on and you have continuous light and then you have the flash on top. This is not possible to do with a normal flash.
With the same color temperature. Yeah. The same color temperature, the continuous as your flash.
I think John.
Oh, did we freeze? He looked at me like, duh, yeah.
At least it's not in some weird position where you're like, yeah.
See if we can get him back. Did we lose him? I was gonna share another 1 or 2 pictures of his.
All right. Let me go through the questions real quick because we have a couple more and then we'll move on to the picture side.
Okay. Let's see, we getting him back? What did we say to him? We were having too much fun, apparently. Oh. We lost him. See if he comes back in.
Whoops.
So as I was mentioning, yes, there's no other light out there that you can adjust that color temperature on that continuous and that temperature and be the same exact as your flash that you're getting. And that's a huge plus into using the Rotolights. And Peter in chat did mention that the flash on the Neo 2 is 500% brighter than the continuous light, which is a strong benefit. Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's only when you use it on like an AC. If you're using battery, it's only at 250%. So that's a good thing to mention. All right. Well, it's always so funny because, you know, we try this an hour before we start. We always do like a pre-recording session and we make sure everything's good on the internet connection. And then every time during a recording, this happens.
His router went down, so he's jumping back in. It'll just take a second. I was just about to text him and he was ahead of me.
Right.
That's good. Awesome.
I can answer a few, but we'll just wait for John to get back.
Perfect. Let's see. Yeah, we'll wait for him to get back. Definitely. I was looking at the questions.
Yeah. Yes, Will, this is recording on YouTube, so you can
Yes.
later rewatch it if you want to.
Yeah, it's recording live right now too, so you can see us panicked a little bit. Now, this has been one of my favorite webinars so far. I feel like they keep getting better and better.
Yeah, we should make like a sign with like intermission so people can just go to the bathroom and somebody blacks out.
No, I'm like trying to text my meetings that I'm late.
We're so sorry, guys. We promise to get John back soon.
So what I love about this virtual though is we can connect a lot more than if we did these individual local places, that now we can branch out and actually talk to everybody across the world. Though when I don't understand you guys.
Well, that's what you get for being American, Pam. What can I say?
I know. I resemble that remark. There he is.
There we go. Yay. John is back.
Sorry.
Down the intermission sign. Everybody gets back to the back.
Sometimes the technique, just is deciding to do own things.
Yeah, we were just telling everybody that we tried this before in the recording and everything was fine, and usually during these things something always happens.
Yeah. It's like I had the situation I think some days ago, and I had a wedding again. And at the beginning, I'm always planning like, these are the ways, this is Google Maps, I need to go here because the church is here and the garden is here and everything, but I'm saving everything on my phone and everything. And I have a new phone, so the pin from the SIM card, I was not aware of this because it's on my papers. So, and I was then driving to the church, taking the pictures, taking my phone off, not into flight mode, turning off. All the people were leaving after that. They said like, we're going to meet in the garden now, and then there will be the party. You will be there. I said like, yeah, no problem. I have the address and everything. And then I recognized, shit, I saved everything on my phone, address, phone numbers of the people. And now my phone is not turning on because I don't have the SIM code anymore.
Oh.
I was sweating like a little pig. And I was lucky because the grandparents were coming where I parked the car and I said, hey, nice to meet you again. Can I follow you to the garden? I said like, no problem. I said like, good, that's perfect. It's more easy for me.
Yeah. More easy.
Yeah. They said like, no one recognized that my phone was off. It's like, but this was definitely a situation for me where I understand like, to trust in all the technique instead of like printing the paper and now I have my little paper with my SIM code in my wallet, because this should not happen again. It's experience.
Technology. Right. Well, we have a few more questions.
Yeah, just a few more. This one's from Daniel Wenke. John, hi there, my friend. Did you ever use a modifier on your Rotolights like foils, gels, or diffuser? And when yes, why?
Yeah, foils I use just to get some different little color effect. And again, like using paper sometimes to create some shades and everything and to cut the light already. Yes, I do. I definitely do. And maybe he joined a little bit later, but I use and create light through this prism and everything what I'm going to use, and have some more, not only prisms, also light, some glasses and everything, and to modify the light. Yes. And then I'm using it also in front of the Rotolights and with continuous light and flash. Yes. That's also a part of trying to do something different. If it doesn't look good, change it, try again, and you will see that it will have a huge effect on your photography, especially on light situations.
Right. Well, to go in that spirit, everybody wants to use modifiers. I don't know what that. This one's from Simon. I'm gonna really.
But you're
Simon,
right.
I'm gonna. Sorry.
You're right. It's a little bit sad to see that the market doesn't understand that. Like Greg Gorman is one of the old school, really nice, great photographers, like just using for a portrait the light. I'm the one also using prisms, using this, but I love to take just, you saw it on the kit, just a simple black and white. Natural light combining, or LED light, continuous light, nothing more, just a simple portrait. Especially with old men or just like characters, it's perfect. The market is a little bit losing that photography. It's really sad to see.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes back to the basic where you just have a light and then, you know, knock yourself.
Yeah, people think like the photography is growing because of being more special. It's not like this. It's like the way it's you behind the camera is, in the end, it's your signature is because of you, not because of how you take the pictures.
Right, right. I fully agree with that. Absolutely. But back to the question from Simon, he's asking, it's a very short question. Softbox, barn doors, or illuminator with Neo 2, question mark, or none of these, question mark?
Illuminator with AEOS or ANOVA. To be honest, I never used this with Neo because Neo in that small, for me, it's soft enough. I don't need to soften more. If I want to have more soft light, I just use it with 5%. But I don't use modifiers or something on the Neo, not that much. I just, for the bigger ones, yes, absolutely, for the AEOS and ANOVA.
Right, right.
But people can try, yeah.
Right. And then this one's from Thomas. Hey, John, you're still using Iron View, if I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, yeah.
I saw it years before last time. How old is this train?
I switched this software now because based on the CR3 format of Canon, Windows is not, yes, I'm using Windows, I'm not an Apple user, is not possible to show the RAWs in the Explorer. So I was using Irfan View as a software to check the pictures, also the RAWs. I forgot the name. There is there's one only program which is able to open, not sure, Adobe is possible to read all the CR3 formats, but I think I need to put it in the group. I forgot the name, which is like to see the pictures already in Windows Explorer if you use new Canon cameras. Yes.
Okay. I wasn't aware of the
yeah. That's a good program. Like whenever I just transform, like rescale pictures, I still use the batch function from the Irfan View, because if I want to scale down to full HD, because uploading the pictures on Pixieset or PicDrop or showing a presentation to the people or models, I'm scaling down to full HD because they don't need to see the full resolution, because then it's again six gigabyte or whatever uploading pictures. Yes.
Yeah, right. The next one is from Ian. Do you have a SNUI type of attachment or any AEOS or Neo? If so, please tell me where you did you get them, as I want one.
What does he mean by attachment?
A snoot, like a snoot type.
Snoot, there we go. Yeah, I couldn't think about the word. Yeah, snoot type.
I made mine with construction paper.
There's some, yeah, you can see it on it depends on where he's coming from. Like that was the question before, like distributors or where it's to buy. But you have the illuminator there, but I think I never saw a snoot on Rotolight.
No, there's not one.
Really is not one.
No.
Yeah. So I did. I made mine from construction paper and taped it and gaff taped it onto mine.
Yeah.
Great.
It's yeah. It's good. It's good way to be creative again. Like just build your own snoot if you want. Yeah, but it's not a joke. I'm doing with papers and just sometimes yes.
Sure. Oh, and Wes, if you look in Wes, who in 2 weeks we're doing a webinar with Wes, he posted what he uses.
Yeah.
Yeah, cinefoil.
Cinefoil, yeah.
Yeah, again, I have these. I think that's the thing. Like cinefoil, it's orange. And what I'm doing is, I will show you. Sorry for the microphone, but using it in that way, yeah, and shooting through it with a
Mhm.
70-100 or with a macro lens. Just try to highlight with a neo through it, and you will have some wonderful light effects. It's a creative thing. I don't want to talk about light a lot. People should try, but it
Yeah.
gives complete different situations.
Right. Right. All right. So the next one I've got is from Philip Schretz. I own a Neo 2. How do you trigger the flash? Have only used it with continuous light.
Yeah, it's the trigger. It's the Rotolight Chrome trigger. I just use it in a way of brighten the Rotolights, or just to take it down again, and then just for the flash. I don't use the trigger much more. There are a lot of more functions, but for me, it's like just because of the wheel, or just like in coachings presenting how the flash works and everything. Yes, but you can connect directly also to the camera. I tried it once, but I'm a little bit, let's say, limited if I use it with cable, because if you have a long cable, yes, but you can't walk around like with the trigger. I can stand over there and just flash, and yeah, that's definitely an accessory everyone should use and have it on the camera, like if you work also with a flash.
Right.
Well, we've gone through a lot of our questions. As we wrap up, I want to share a couple more of your photos and kind of discuss them as we close out. And this is one of my favorites that I've seen. Talk a bit about this photo and how you set up. And I can see there's some really cool aspects to it.
That was taken for the Leica global campaign with my dear friend Christoph Gellert. And that was a kind of cellar room in the Leica, in Wetzlar, in the Leica park. There was some really good light. You see it on the left. There was some, yeah, how to say it, like steps over her, and that was the little cellar room. So the light was coming from above on her face. So when she was taking her chin up, the light was already here. But the main problem was on this situation of the jacket, there was no light. And when the fashion stylist was part of the team, we decided for this jacket, because you see this glossy effect and the color on the jacket. So we decided to put from front ANOVA to highlight this situation. And I think every photographer knows, if especially shooting fashion, you will always have a complicated situation that for the face, a light is there, but for the clothes, it's quite tough. If you don't want to flash it, yeah, you want to have a little bit more soft light, are always, yeah, treating the assistants again to put the light with the neo on the jacket or maybe on the shorts or something like that. It depends on the picture. In this situation, then the Rotolights with ANOVA were coming from the left and from the right, from the front, and from the top it was the natural light. And sure, on the here on the, what is the name, on the cheeks and everything, it's still a part of the Rotolight, but it's a mix of continuous light, natural light, and yeah, sorry, I think there was, no, that was also flash, yes. So it was a combination of all light situations.
Wow.
Yeah, because if you see the sharpness in the picture again, like with the glasses and the jacket, it's quite tough to shoot in a cellar room with that sharpness if you don't use a flash, LED flash.
And then
same here.
The last one, yes, right here.
It's the same here. That was the same light situation. From the top, you see, I was working with a prism, and this is this kind of, I don't have the English word, transforming the light, like I would show. I have something here. Yeah, if you walk you know that, like if you walk and the light is falling through here, you see it from the top, and again from the front, because the short was the same, like full of glitter and everything, and we definitely wanted to highlight this situation, and we wanted to keep also the depth of the cellar room, because you see the wall in the back. Yeah, and we wanted to create that into, yeah, she was sitting on the chair. So in this situation, natural light from above, continuous light from right with the ANOVA and flash, and from the left only continuous light, no flash.
Wow, love it. Well, as we close out, how can people reach you? How can we connect with you and ask you other questions outside of this?
On the Rotolight user group, we can definitely do. And if there are, I think that's the best way to do, because then if there are, it would be sad if people, it would be nice, sure, and everyone can do, to drop a message on WhatsApp, but to reach more people if they have question, and if there is a special question and I can give my answer, a lot of people still can read. So that's cool. I will put also some more BTS with a final picture, or yeah, I will also put some RAWs and some BTS and some final pictures into that group. So that could be cool for the people, because it's a real, I'm sure it's a real cool experience. I think that's the best way. Yes.
Sure.
And if there is a little more detailed question, still people can use my WhatsApp number and drop me a message. But in total, the group is perfect. That's nice. This is exactly what I want to have. When we were talking before, to build up community, yes, let's go for that. Not mass, but quality. And if people are really interested, let's rock.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And we do have summer sales going on with all these lights, and I encourage you to reach out to your favorite resellers, because they will have that available for you.
Yeah. Currently I believe for when you're coming out of Germany, it's Lichtenschneider, I believe, Video Data, then anybody in the UK, CVP, everybody in the US, it's Adorama or Sammy's or whoever you're buying from. Give them a shout.
Absolutely. Again, John, thank you so much for the webinar today. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on. Yeah. And anybody who has any more questions, reach out to our Facebook user group, and we'll be there to help answer questions and guide you in the right direction of upping your creativity. And we hope this has been an inspiration for you to up your game in photography.
Thanks to you. That was really great. I really loved this webinar, and thanks to Rotolight, and yeah, thanks to everyone who joined that, being patient for the questions and everything. And yeah, that was a really great pleasure to be here and to be a part of the team.
Apologies if we couldn't take all of them, unfortunately, but please ask them to John in the user group if you still have some. And then, of course, I think this was one of the funniest webinars we've ever done.
Yes.
Really appreciate that. Yes.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on
everyone.
Facebook.
Stay